first go with this team.
Absolutely. I think he should, because it's not about what he needs, it's about what they need. Like, if you Zach Wilson, you need to be out there for you. You see what I'm saying? If you Ryan Tannehill, you need to be out there for you. You know, there's a few quarterbacks. Russell Wilson, after the year he had last year, you need to be out there for you, all right? But Aaron Rodgers, that's not the case. The issue is Garrett Wilson, you never played with him before. McCole Hardman came over from Kansas City, you never played with him before. Yeah, you played with Lazard and Randall Cobb, but you never played with those two dudes. And your primary target is obviously your number one receiver. That's going to be Garrett Wilson. And so it's one thing to have that chemistry and cohesiveness in practice. A game situation is entirely different. Now, I'm not trying to tell you to endanger yourself excessively or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that, under no circumstances should it be a situation where he's out there for an inordinate amount of time. But you certainly, in a game situation, want to get out there and throw a few passes to a guy like a Garrett Wilson and a McCole Hardman, who you've never played with before, just to make sure you get those reps in. Because, again, it's 17 games, and we understand how violent the sport is. You got to protect yourself. D. Wood, you know that a hell of a lot better than me. But my mentality is that it's just 17 games. And you have very, very little room for mistakes. You have very, very little time to get acclimated and get yourself right. And that's period. But then you take into account that the AFC East is arguably the best division in football, even though I would say the AFC North. When you look at the AFC East with Miami, with Buffalo, and the Jets, and with New England finally having an offensive coordinator to help out Mac Jones, and you know their defense is real, okay? The fact is you can't afford to take time figuring stuff out. The sooner you do it, the better. That's where my mentality comes from in terms of Aaron Rodgers just playing at some point in the preseason.
Yeah, you're wrong on this.
Okay.
And I want to explain why. I want to explain not only to you, but to also the fans out there. So what we've seen in the past 2 years in the NFL, a lot of these teams do what's called joint practices, okay? So for the Jets this year, they have joint practices with the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
And what's great about the joint practice is, see, a lot of times in training camp, especially at this point, you're getting tired of hitting the same guys. So when you do is you bring another team in, and guess what happens? Everything ramps up to a whole different level. But at the same time, the coaches can control the environment. You don't get to hit Aaron Rodgers. So you get, as organizations, you get just as much or even more work than you do in the preseason without exposing your quarterback to the opposition that can tee off on your quarterback. So that's what you're seeing out of these teams right now. They're going to get all of these work. They can work on all of these different situations that they would do in preseason or regular season game, but the coaches can say, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that, but we can still have the same type of intensity. So if I'm the Jets, I'm trying to get my guy Aaron Rodgers to week one. That's what all of these coaches want for their guys. Ultimately, it's a necessary evil in training camp, but ultimately, you want to make sure you get all of your dogs to week one. You can't do that if you're going to be exposing your guys to preseason, what I call meaningless preseason games. Okay. You can do it in the, you can get all this work in these joint practices, but I need my guy, I need Aaron Rodgers on the field week one against the Buffalo Bills.
First of all, I appreciate that. I get your point, eloquent points, no doubt about that. But when you're talking, talk to me. You sit there. I'm the one you do it. You looking over at Molly. I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm right here.
See what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to be rude or anything and not not acknowledge
my
don't
acknowledge
but
didn't acknowledge me. You sitting there talking to her.
Hold on, but make no mistake about it. When I'm ready to give you the smoke, I'm going to give you the smoke.
Yeah.
Okay?
Gosh, you need more attention? You already look like a highlighter. What else do you need?
Just because you got this outfit on.
Good-looking highlighter, I might add.
Just because you got this outfit on.
Go ahead.
Don't get too big for your
And you know what else he did, too? He's wearing the special watch, too, so something's happening today.
So another thing I didn't peep out? I didn't peep out the shoes. I didn't peep out the shoes.
Yes, I do.
You don't wear that watch
the other one is with the special.
See, the other thing, I didn't see what type of shoes he's wearing, too.
Louboutins, red bottoms. Yeah.
I mean,
and he's got the watch. He's practicing his Spanish. A lot's happening right now.
See, I should have known.
What are those socks,
I should have known.
Listen, I like them. They're comfortable. They're comfortable.
You just want to pop a color, add a little orange in?
This is Christian Louboutin sneakers.
I know what they are. I just told the audience.
All right. Well, they didn't listen to you. They're hearing me. The point that I'm trying to make to you, Damien Woody.
It's hard to take you seriously. We're doing our best.
Hey, listen, you can take my content seriously. I can tell you that much, because let me get to my point that I'm trying to make to you. I get what you're saying. You're not wrong. Seriously, you're not wrong. But here's what I would challenge you on. Mm-hmm. Again, I brought up McCole Hardman.
Right.
And Garrett Wilson, who's going to be two. Let's face reality. We hope that Lazard is going to be that dude. He hasn't been. He's been decent. He's been respectable, but he hasn't been great. But he's growing and developing. He played in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers the last 2 or 3 years. We got that, right? Randall Cobb is the age-old veteran that he's going to lean on and rely upon. We get all of that. But the bottom line is McCole Hardman and especially Garrett Wilson are expected to be the two primary targets. Okay, am I right about that? Am I right about that? Okay, now. Aaron Rodgers hasn't played the preseason game since 2018. How's that worked? Well, they did get to the NFC Championship game. They lost to Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. Then the next year, they lost in the playoffs to San Francisco, where they only scored 10 points. All 3 games were at Lambeau Field. Tom Brady lost, 10 points against San Francisco at Lambeau Field. Last year's season finale against the Detroit Lions and Jared Goff. We got outplayed by Jared Goff. Aaron Rodgers, 17 to 27, 205 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. A relatively pedestrian performance in a season finale with a playoff berth on the line. Okay, we understand what we're looking at here. Again, I'm not saying in any way that Aaron Rodgers needs preseason. I'm saying the guys that he's playing with need him in the preseason with them, even if it's for a few plays, just to try stuff in real action. That's all I mean by that. I understand the 2 days. I get you the dual practices. I get all of that. I get it. I'm just saying when we look at Aaron Rodgers, one could easily argue that not playing in the preseason, not to say that that was the reason they lost or whatever, but certainly going to a new team, it doesn't hurt.
Damien, are the raised expectations good for Dallas? By the way, should I tell America this is the team you root for?
Ooh.
I thought you were a Cowboys fan.
Molly, don't make me walk off the set right now.
No, I remember you picked the Cowboys to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's like 3 years ago, and that man right there.
I'll never forget
it. To this day, has not let me finish. Hear it. Like he's been giving me the business.
I know what it is.
That.
I know what it is. It's my bad. You're a Lakers fan.
Yes, I'm a Lakers fan.
I knew you had a bandwagon team.
Whoa. You okay, Molly? Everything good? First you getting on Stephen A. Now you trying to slide it on me. I thought we were good.
I knew you had one.
Now my wife is a Cowboys fan.
There you go. It's all coming together.
Yeah.
You married a Cowboys fan?
Well,
how in God's name do you have the wonderful family that you have when you married a Cowboys fan? How did that happen?
There was something.
I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't even know.
Right.
But that's beside the point. But listen, the Cowboys. There's always expectations. Why not have raised expectations with the Cowboys? Here's what I'm going to tell you. You don't think those guys in the locker room know how good they are? They know that they have an elite roster. I've said the Cowboys roster, top to bottom, is just about as good as anybody in the National Football League. Those guys in the locker room know how good they are. Now, they got to go through the process just like any other team that's aspiring to win a championship. But we're talking about America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. There's always pressure on the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to put pressure on the Dallas Cowboys. Everyone puts pressure on the Dallas Cowboys. So Jerry Jones saying that, does it really matter? They're going to have pressure anyway.
Yeah.
Y'all will never learn. Y'all just will never learn. I try.
What's wrong with them having, what's wrong with this?
The Dallas Cowboys are allergic to prosperity. They have spent 27 years proving that whenever you have expectations for them, they fold like cheap tents. Now, Jerry Jones is my buddy. That's my Libra buddy right there. I saw him at the fight. Or what was supposed to be a damn fight in Vegas this past Saturday. I saw the man, okay? And came over, gave me a big hug. I was standing next to my brother Michael Irvin, who was making a scene, swearing that Errol Spence was going to knock out Terrence Crawford, but once again, he was wrong. No surprise there. And so I'm doing all of this, right? And to look at the Cowboys, I'm being sensitive this week because Errol Spence, who's a beautiful person, really, and sad what happened to him, the beatdown that he suffered, I've never seen the Dallas Cowboys look that depressed. I've seen the Dallas Cowboys after a playoff loss look better than they looked at Saturday night. They were that depressed because they came there in droves to support their brother, their homeboy, and he obviously got demolished. And so I'm trying to be sensitive here to my brother Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs and DeMarcus Lawrence and all of these guys. I'm trying to be sensitive. I'm trying to be sensitive, right? But then stuff like this happens, and we're talking about raised expectations. The reality of the situation is the Dallas Cowboys and the word expectations, it should be an oxymoron. It shouldn't even exist. It shouldn't even be in the same sense. Why should they have expectations? When have you lived up to it? What proof that you have in the last quarter century plus to have expectations that are justifiable when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys? Listen, this is the point. I'm trying to help y'all out. Dallas Cowboy fans, I'm not trolling you right now. I'm going to save that for September. I'm not going to troll you in August. September through January, it's common. But for the month of August, I'm not going to troll you. I'm going to be fair-minded and just give it to you straight. Every time y'all chirp, the fall is imminent. The brothers can't live up to it. Dallas is a different breed. You understand what I'm saying? It's the only football team with a White House. You understand? It's the only football team with a White House, man. I mean, they just, everywhere you go, the star in the helmet, the paparazzis, just the fandom and everything like that. You can't live up to it. You can't do it. And every time they chirp, I laugh because what do I say every single year? Be patient. Just wait. It's coming. They won't let you down. Somehow, some way, they're going to find a way. They invent ways to lose. You understand that? It's gotten so bad with the organization. I sat up there and said a black cat was running around the franchise, and we had to leave First Take and the damn Sports Center the night before because when the Dallas Cowboys had a Monday night game at MetLife Stadium, a black cat was running around. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, okay? You got all types of problems. You got all types of problems throughout history, a multitude of ways they can mess up a season. They're the only team that we are aware of that had a practice and then a dude got arrested because he tried to steal some cologne and a pair of drawers. I mean, you can't make this up. It's my all-time favorite. I'm not lying. It's right there. It's right there. It's my all-time. I swear to you, because when you're not laughing about a person stealing, you're not laughing about a person getting arrested, but you know you don't get no jail time or anything like that. It was just a fine. My point is, you leave practice and you steal cologne and a pair of drawers. What were you doing that you felt the need to steal a pair of drawers and some cologne? Of all things, not money, not money. He stole a pair of drawers. You can't make this up. These are the Cowboys, man. You got Dak Prescott last year. He led the league in interceptions, okay? Tied with David Mills. Why was that relevant? Because he's the first quarterback in NFL history to lead the league in interceptions, despite missing 5 or more games. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. They find different ways. And somehow, some way, the Cowboys steal headlines. They're always going to be in the headlines. They're going to be on this show because, damn it, when we talk about America wants to, when we don't talk about them, they're tweeting. That's why I ain't talking about the Cowboys. They walk around like champions, full of pomp and circumstance, signifying nothing outside of Jerry Jones. He's the only person that signifies something because he's an astute, brilliant businessman that's always making the Cowboys money. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.